One day, I was up in the loft and found interviews I had done 20 years ago with three men who went to Sùlaisgeir after the war. I thought the interviews were lost. I was so glad to find them. I'll put down what I remember with Ngashan and Morcha Roa from Port, E from Skuggerstye, and Morcha Gladstone Jellico from Atterbrook. Sùlaisgeir is about 70 nautical miles north of Ness. The people of Ness go there to take part in Fowling, the Guga Hunt. In 1549, the Dean Monroe wrote that men from Ness would sail there in their open boats to fetch home their boatful of dry wild fowls with wild fowl feathers. After the war, I was told only one man had been there before, in Duke. He passed on what he knew to others who started going out in small boats, sgoth, villages racing each other out to the island to see who could come home with a catch first. Finlay MacLeod wrote in his book Sùlaisgeir that these years brought about big changes to how the hunt was done. The changes have remained to this day. This was no fixed tradition. They tried different ways and new equipment to see what worked best to serve their purposes. Back then, before fishing boats took people out, men from Ness sailed there in open boats called sgoth. By 1947, 3 boats were going, though not all were ready for the journey. These short trips were called the raids. It was a race who would get there first, who would bring the birds back first. And Gashan told me we were kind of bored after the war. They went to kill the birds and bring them back as soon as possible. The woman would pluck the birds at home on the breakwater. They used the old style of open nest boats with sail and oars, the Niseach. Boats like in Katrina and Mayflower were in use at that time. But things changed after the First World War, and the sgoth were used less and less. The war in 1914 had affected the fishing. The new boats had engines, something for which the sgoth wasn't well suited, and few new ones were built after 1914. They were hard to maintain and hard to use. Morcha Roa said that the iron nails were the main problem. After 2 years, you had to re-nail the boat any longer and it was too far gone. When going to deep sea, the boat had to be in good shape, he said. One reason for the switch was safety. Open boats were dangerous. The Katrina was lost. So was the boat from Atterbrook, the Mayflower. I heard a story from many people about Morcha Gladstone's gold watch and the loss of the Mayflower. Morcha Gladstone, Jellico, told it to me, but he didn't want to be recorded that day. The Atterbrook boat went out. A storm hit and they were stuck on the island for days. I doubt if they even had a sandwich between them. They hadn't taken much water either. They tried to save the Mayflower, but the swell was too much and she was sunk, leaving them on the island. Yachin Chalam Yachin, a neighbour, drank from a small pool and got sick, breaking out in boils. When I asked Yachin what it was like to go to Sùlaisgeir, he said, it was hellish. In the end, they saw the Stornoway lifeboat. The sea was still terribly rough. The captain said, we're going in, but I don't think we'll be coming out. The lifeboat couldn't get close enough, so they threw a rope. Each man had to jump into the sea and be pulled aboard. That was the plan. Yachin was in such a rush, he threw off his jacket. They found it a year later, where he had thrown it. Morcha Gladstone told him, as the lifeboat crew were about to pull him through the waves, careful, Yachin, don't get your feet wet. Then it was Morcha Gladstone's turn. He remembered the gold watch from America he had brought, as no one else on the crew had one. He didn't want to lose it, so he stuck it under his chin and tied it fast. He grabbed the rope and jumped. They pulled him aboard so fast the watch didn't even get wet. The races ended after that and they started to use fishing boats, staying as one crew on the island with the fishing boat taking them on and off. Maybe that was just as well. It was a dangerous thing, and a miracle the crews of these boats survived. as Morach Ruach put it, when someone asked him who made up the crew of an open boat that they were both watching leave for Sùlaisgeir, he said, 5 fools and the Creator.